News for you now. A coup attempt is underway in Burkina Faso.
There have been 18 reported assassination attempts on Ibrahim Traoré. What did he do?
Le peuple burkinabé a décidé de lutter contre l'île terroriste en mesure de relancer son développement.
He just wanted to save Burkina Faso from Western powers. He wants the freedom of his people. To save Africa from Western powers, you must either be Muammar Gaddafi or you be like Kwame Nkrumah, but you must pay the price. Both men lost their lives in doing so. This is why Ibrahim Traoré has been wanted 18 times. The most recent one was in April 2025. This is not new to Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traoré may not be the first to face death every day. There was a man called Thomas Sankara who wanted to change the face of Burkina Faso and set the country free. His people loved him so much. He couldn't live to make it possible, although he was the one who changed the name of Burkina Faso from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso and started a transformation.
Par contre, Burkina Faso est un nom puisé dans le terroir même, qui a une signification dans notre langue.
Qui veut dire
patrie des hommes honnêtes.
They used his closest friend to take him out. They later rewarded his friend and made him the president after he helped them to take out Sankara.
A final goodbye to Thomas Sankara and 12 of his companions who are being laid to rest at a memorial in Ouagadougou. A court last year convicted several military commanders and Sankara's closest friend, former President Blaise Compaoré, for their role in the assassination.
Just like the way they took Thomas Sankara out with his closest friend, they want to do so to Ibrahim Traoré, this time with his soldiers. But before we get there, let us look at how Ibrahim Traoré came to power, the challenges he has faced so far, his achievements, his mistakes. All these will help us to understand why they don't like Ibrahim Traoré. This video will also discuss how China came to his rescue, what caused the Traoré protests, and how he wants to start an African revolution.
Je jure devant le peuple.
I swear before the people of Burkina Faso and on my honor to preserve, respect, uphold and defend the constitution to all inhabitants of Burkina Faso.
À tous les habitants du Burkina Faso.
Since Ibrahim Traoré came to power in September 2022, after conducting a military coup that removed the then interim president, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who himself came to power through a coup just 8 months earlier in January 2022. Since then, Traoré has positioned himself as a revolutionary figure, using anti-colonial and pan-Africanist language to show his love to change Africa, starting from Burkina Faso. His decision to take over power was mainly because he felt that the previous leadership was failing to deal effectively with Burkina Faso's worsening security situation. He then organized his fellow young soldiers and removed the same government he helped to come to power.
In Burkina Faso, there's been a second coup this year. A faction of the army has overthrown the previous coup leader turned president, Paul-Henri Damiba. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has been announced as the new leader of the West African nation.
Ibrahim Traoré has been on a strong mission to set his country free from any Western influence. He has done this by nationalizing his country's wealth and expelling French soldiers from Burkina Faso, stating that his government wished to tackle the security problem independently without the help of France.
And the first thing was to ask them to leave our army. They left. And what I told you not long ago, you cannot hope to find your lost object by calling on the one who stole it to come and help you find it.
Since he announced the French soldiers to leave Burkina Faso, he instead went closer to Russia. He had made Putin his closest and most powerful friend.
Camarade Président Vladimir Putin.
So far, although Russia is also an European power, but this decision seems to be accepted by most persons in Africa. It has gathered some form of approval, not just in Burkina Faso, but across Africa and among Africans in diaspora. This shows how the people in most parts of Africa would love to be friends with Russia, wave the Russian flag and burn the French flag.
Russia will help us because of the bloodshed and suffering of our military, because of some politicians who only offer bad governance. We want Russia.
Aside the security and political moves, Burkina Faso under Ibrahim Traoré is also aiming for more control over its resources, and as such, it has changed its mining legislation and created a new state mining corporation called SOPAMIB, Société de Participation Minérale du Burkina. I just wish I got it right, but this move immediately got approval by people who have been advocating for a pro-national government in Africa, where every African country's wealth should be distributed within the country and not taken over by foreigners. After setting up SOPAMIB, the country immediately took control of 2 industrial gold mines, one in Bongno and the other one in Wagnion. These gold mines were formerly controlled by a UK-based gold mining company, Endeavour Mining.
Burkina Faso, as the top gold producer in West Africa, might just be setting the stage for other countries to follow. It could really change how the gold mining industry operates in the region.
But in a twist of events, in April 2025, Ibrahim Traoré and the Burkina Faso government decided to grant an industrial mining license to a Russian company called Nord Gold. This was the same government that took away such opportunity from a UK company. The difference here is that this deal with the Russian company was done under Burkina Faso's new mining regulation, and it is projected to contribute about $89 million to the Burkina Faso state budget over a period of about 4 years. Earlier in April, Burkina Faso noted that it aims to gain more control over foreign-owned industrial mines and by extension, a larger share of revenue from its natural resources. This is what most African countries are hoping for.
Les questions que mes générations se posent sont les suivantes, si je peux me résumer, c'est de ne pas comprendre comment l'Afrique, avec tant de richesses sur notre sol, avec une nature généreuse, l'Afrique est aujourd'hui le continent le plus pauvre. L'Afrique est un continent affamé.
Of course, Africa is a hungry continent with so much wealth, but the people do not gain from the wealth. Take for example this gold mine in Burkina Faso.
In the village of Nobsine, hundreds of diggers search for gold, a crucial source of income to the impoverished West African country. But behind the glitter of precious metal lies a sad reality, that the majority of the miners are children.
An estimated 20,000 children work in Burkina Faso's gold mines.
I want to go to school, but I can't afford to ride the bus. It's too far from here to town on foot.
Karim Sawadogo was once a goat herder at his home in the north and came to this mine in the southwest with his uncle. Barefoot, he cooks, fetches water, and climbs down in the mines. He thinks he's 9 years old, but isn't sure.
These kids, as little as they are digging for gold, and when they are done getting the gold, they will sell it cheaply to the European gold companies in Burkina Faso, just to have something to eat. These companies polish the gold and sell it for more money on the global gold market. What if these gold-producing African countries have their own gold companies? These are the questions Ibrahim Traoré is asking. Sometimes, why these kids dig out this gold, the unexpected happens.
In southwestern Burkina Faso, the blast left nothing but devastation. The victims had no chance to escape. What used to be an artisanal gold site, there, a dynamite stockpile explosion killed at least 59 on Monday.
You see, Burkina Faso has been in need of help. Aside from the issue of poverty, the country has been in a deadly conflict with the Islamist militants since 2015, and as a result, the country has called for international assistance to combat the issue. But instead of seeking for military assistance from the world powers we already know, Ibrahim Traoré shifted his attention and ignored the USA. He went to China to get military support. According to some reports, China delivered at least 100 armored vehicles to Burkina Faso, including 50 Norinca CSVP-14, 30 Norinca VN-22 6x6 wheeled armored fighting vehicles, and 10 Norinca CNVN-9 6x6 armored personnel carriers. Other vehicles received are 90 Chaman H3000 6x4 trucks and tankers, and 45 Chaman H3000 6x4 tractors. The Norinca CSVP-14 is a perfect fit for fighting insurgency because it can withstand a 10 kg anti-tank mine under any wheel and can resist 7.62 by 51 mm gunfire from up to 30 meters, and it has a total combat weight of 9 tons. These vehicles have made the Burkina Faso forces a much more modern military to fight the insurgency. Considering that the people of Burkina Faso welcomed the idea of a Russian partnership, they didn't find it hard to appreciate the Chinese support.
Merci beaucoup, camarades, et bonjour à tous.
All these are part of the factors that have fueled Ibrahim Traore's popularity. But his popularity as a whole became evident during the inauguration of the Ghanaian president John Mahama on the 7th of January 2025.
I, John Dramani Mahama,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
During the ceremony, the Burkina Faso leader stormed the stage with a pistol strapped to his holster. This was an interesting way to come to congratulate a fellow African head of state, and as a result, this sparked some reactions among his supporters and haters on different social media platforms. But what truly caught everyone's attention was a round of applause that accompanied his arrival.
The head of state of the strong people of Burkina Faso, His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traore.
On that day, many social media users who never knew much about him were introduced to this revolutionary leader who had organically gained the love of many Africans. Since then, it has been an acceptable expression on social media that Ibrahim Traore is one of the most pro-African head of state in the modern era. A popular Nigerian journalist, David Hundeyin, even had this to say: Ibrahim Traore himself doesn't know how important he has become to this continent. I have been alive nearly 35 years and I've never seen one person to unite Anglophones, Francophones, and Lusophones in approval. It's incredible to witness. But after then, Traore's popularity grew higher after General Michael Langley, the head of the US military in Africa, declared publicly during a US congressional hearing that the Burkina Faso president had become a person of interest who uses Burkina Faso's gold to shield himself.
You know, I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime.
Such allegation, of course, did not go well with many young Africans who had begun to embrace Traore as the ideal image of a true African leader. And more than just a conversation online, people have taken to the streets to express their love and support for the man, calling for his protection. As recently as April 30th, 2025, large crowds of demonstrators gathered at the Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou, shouting, "Long live Captain Traore." Some of them had banners that displayed a picture of General Langley with the word slave designed with a red marker on his head.
From Ouagadougou to New York City, people are rising in defense of Captain Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, who has been accused by U.S. General Michael Langley, head of AFRICOM, of appropriating Burkina Faso gold reserve for his own security.
Then, coincidentally, the military government of Burkina Faso reported shortly before the demonstrations that a major plot to overthrow Ibrahim Traore had been foiled. Immediately, it sparked like wildfire that some foreign groups are plotting to depose the West African leader as a result of his anti-Western initiatives. This then created more demonstrations, especially outside Africa.
My 20s have been a Pan-Africanist, and now 55, so more than 30 years I've been looking for a leader like this. Traore is what all of us here have been waiting for. Ibrahim Traore is the future. He is what Africa needs. We've been waiting for him, we need him, and we'll protect him.
Captain Ibrahim Traore is no longer just the leader of a West African nation. For some, he has become a symbol of resistance, independence, and Pan-African pride. In almost every phase of the economy, he had tried to do something different. He has built a tomato plant for Burkina Faso farmers, where they can sell their tomato farm produce for processing.
The first cans of tomato concentrate made in Burkina from the tomato processing plant in Bobo Dioulasso, Burkina's second largest city. Local tomato processing is now a reality.
This is part of the industrialization process. We can only be proud of our approach, which is understood by the people.
He named it Societe Faso Tomate, Sofato. The plant has the capacity of processing 5 tons of tomatoes per hour to produce various tomato-based products. The aim of this investment is to increase the country's domestic production capacity and to reduce dependency on imports. All these security enforcements, political decisions, economic developments are geared towards changing Burkina Faso for good. But if Burkina Faso develops and controls her resources, how will the greedy superpowers get cheap gold that will power their development? They want Africa to be poor. That is why Ibrahim Traore is wanted, dead or removed. So whether Ibrahim Traore is remembered as a liberator or a controversial figure will depend on how the pages of history unfolds. But one thing is certain: his actions as presently constructed, have sparked continental awareness and raised the need for Africa's liberation, and it has created a movement. Thank you for being there. Subscribe.